Welcome to today's webinar, courtesy of the Kentucky Small Business Development Center in Louisville. Discover no-cost, valuable business services to help you thrive, whether starting your entrepreneurial journey or scaling your existing business. We have the resources and expertise to help you succeed. For more information, please visit our website or text 502-977-5800. Thank you for joining us today. Feel free to use the chat feature to ask questions or engage with our speaker. Let's get started.
Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Dave Etcom, the director here at the Louisville Small Business Development Center. Thanks for joining us today. I don't know where you are, but it's cold here in Kentucky, so hope you're staying warm where you are. Just to make sure that everybody can hear and see us very well, because sometimes we do have some technological challenge. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you should see a toolbar, and if you don't, take your cursor and hover over that. There you'll see the chat button. If you just click on that and say hello, tell us your name and where you're joining from. Just to make sure that everybody's out there. I think we can see you kind of popping in. Quite a few people are popping in today, so hopefully we get a lot of people to say hello. Because I do like to see where everybody joins from, because we get folks from all over sometimes. So right now we just have Madison County coming in. That's Mary. Hey Mary, how are you? Let's see, Shelby County, Louisville, Glasgow. Hey Amy, how are you? Thanks for joining us today. Let's see, Daniela from Miami. Good to see you. So far, you're the winner. Mona from Michigan. Hello, Mariah from Michigan. Thanks for joining us. Hey, let's see. Yep. Hey, Jamie. Jamie Keith from Daniela, glad to see everybody joining us today. All right. Well, as we go through things today, if you have any questions or comments, just put them in the chat bar down there and we'll get to them either during the presentation or afterwards. Every year, the Small Business Development Center, which we are a part of, and there's Janet. Hey, Janet. Janet's our communications director. She runs everything for us. So thanks for being here today. But
I do a quick check with you, Dave. I'm getting a little bit of interference, I think. Is it Robbie, are you seeing that? You too. Okay. I didn't know if it was
hearing a little distortion. Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay. How's that? Better?
We'll just have to go along and see. So I'm going to turn my video off and mic and make sure that we'll be okay.
Yeah. All right. There we go. All right. Hopefully that kind of evens things out a little bit. So every year, the Small Business Development Center program is a national program. And so we all the coaches and consultants from all over the country, we get together every year in the fall, and we have a giant conference and stuff. And we get to meet all kinds of people from all over the country. And we learn a lot. We share ideas. And we were lucky enough to meet our guest today at last year's conference. We had a great time, learned a lot. So I'd like to introduce you guys to Robbie Parks. She is also with an SBDC, the Small Business Development Center in Georgia. She is the statewide continuing education trainer, and she's also a business consultant there. She really kind of dove into a lot of the stuff, the trainings and presentations with AI and how to use that with different ways in your business. So we thought if she could fit us in, which she did, she could come and share what she knows and share some really good tips and tools we got to see and we want you to see. So Robbie, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the introduction.
I can't thank you enough for joining us today. And I know everybody is ready to go with a ton of questions. So just want to just dive right in and let's get going, because this is a hot topic. Using AI for your business is probably one of the most important skills you can learn. And so luckily we have a great expert with us today.
All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes,
All right.
good to go.
It looks
Thanks
great.
so much.
Let's dive in.
All right, sounds like a plan. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you, and so excited to see people from all over the place here. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in as soon as my slides cooperate with me. All right, so this is me. You'll get a copy of the slides, so I'm not going into all of that, but we do have a lot to cover today. If you have questions as we go along, throw those in the chat or the Q&A, and I'll do my best to get to all of those. But we're going to start with decoding the algorithms, and that's social media algorithms, because you really need to know how they work and how they serve content before you can kind of crack that code. And then we'll have an overview of artificial intelligence. And then we're going to spend a lot of time in the prompts, because that is where the true power of artificial intelligence is. And then we're going to talk about how to incorporate artificial intelligence in every part of your social media strategy. So I would like to know, go ahead and throw in the chat if you don't mind, are you currently using artificial intelligence? And if you are, what platforms are you using? Give people a couple of seconds to chime in. I remember when we first started talking about artificial intelligence, it was nobody was using it, and now everyone is. Seeing a lot of Chat GPT. Yeah, chat. Okay, all right. Okay, some people are not using it. And here's the thing, and that's great, because the purpose of this is wherever you are in your journey, whether you have not used it at all or you're just really into it, I hope you'll be able to take something away wherever you are in your journey. So it looks like overwhelmingly lots of folks are using Chat GPT. And I'll get into the different platforms. We've got Grammarly, that's another one. So one thing I just want to let everyone know is I get the what's the best platform. There's not a best platform. It's the platform that works best for you. So where my examples are going to be very heavy in Google Gemini, only because that's what I built the presentation is. These presentations in, you can put these prompts, copy and paste into any platform that you choose, okay? So looks like we've got people from all over the board in their AI journey, which is exciting. When I work with clients and businesses, I find that people are in one of three spots as far as artificial intelligence goes. One, they're kind of like me. They're, oh, this is exciting. This is going to solve all the problems and do all the things. I love it. I'm going to jump in. Then you've got some that are, I don't know about it. I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't know. I might have to see how it goes. And then you've got it's Skynet. It's Skynet, and it's coming for us. So hopefully, if you're leaning more towards the Skynet, you feel a little bit more comfortable about this as we move on, because I do want to emphasize artificial intelligence has been around forever. We first started using the terms in the 50s. And so what I'm talking about is generative AI. Generative AI, where you use a prompt and you get some sort of output. Okay, so we're talking about generative AI. That's what really got the power got put in everyone's hands with Chat GPT a couple of years ago. All right, so this is Supercharge your social media. What is social media success? What are your thoughts on that? How do you know if you've hit social media success? What does that mean to you? See some churning going on in the chat. Any thoughts on what that is? Okay, followers and engagement, that's a big one, absolutely. So social media success, it can mean many different things to many different types of businesses. We've got some people saying it works to drive people to the website. Some are saying likes and follows. So that's the thing. Social media success can mean different things. And so what I'm going to do is kind of go through what that looks like and how to create a strategy based on your goals. So first, let's talk about how social media platforms rank content. They all pretty much work the same, and I'm talking about Facebook, TikTok, anywhere in between, as far as how they decide what content to show different people in what order, okay? So first of all, it's going to be relevancy to interests. I like cute cat videos. I see lots of cute cat videos in my feed, right? If I'm not interested in something, it's not, the social media platform is not going to serve that type of content, Okay. So when you're talking about social media content, you need to pick something that's relevant to people's interests. Also, this is where small businesses kind of suffer. It prioritizes content from family, friends, and following. So that means I'm going to see content from my friends, my family, people that I am actually following before anything else. This is why social media is really becoming a pay to play model, because you have to pay to get ranked higher than that. I saw some of these in the chat. Yes, engagement and performance levels. If you have a post and it has 1 million views, then social media platform is going to say that is great content. I'm going to push that higher in the feed. Also, the content type. If my social media platform knows that I like to watch more videos than static posts, it's going to serve more of that type of content. Also, the quality and accuracy of the content. So if you've got low quality content, it's probably not going to have as much engagement, and so it's not going to get ranked as highly. Also, there are lots of fact checkers out there now with social media, so it's verifying the accuracy of information, and it will penalize content that it deems as not accurate. And then last but not least, the actual context. And this kind of makes sense, right? If I'm in the United States, I'm probably not going to see a lot of content from India, right? If I speak Spanish, I'm not going to see a lot of content in French, right? So this is kind of at a high level how social media platforms rank content. And again, everyone's going to get a copy of these slides. So if you're feverishly taking notes, don't feel like you have to be so feverish about it. All right. So we talked about how social media platforms rank content. Now let's talk about social media strategy. We're going to give you your roadmap and then show you how to use artificial intelligence to fit every piece of this puzzle. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to set SMART goals. That's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. All right. So instead of saying, get more followers. Right. I mean, that's a goal, get more followers. But a SMART goal would be, I want to increase my number of followers to 10,000 by the end of the year 2025. Right. It's just more specific. It gives you something to measure. You're putting a time behind it. So it's important that you set SMART goals. And again, I'm going to show you how to use artificial intelligence for this piece of the puzzle. The next thing you want to do is understand your audience. You have to know what's going on with your audience before you can create content that's going to be relevant and interesting to them, okay? And again, we're going to talk about social media, artificial intelligence prompts to help with this. Notice we haven't picked a platform yet, right? I haven't said jump on Facebook or jump on Snapchat, right? You have to start with the foundations before you can actually create good content. Now we want to choose the right platforms because I know what my goal is. I know who I'm talking to. Now I pick the platform. If I say my target audience is someone 55 years old, I'm probably going to go for Facebook over Snapchat, right? So that's why you have to have those basics in place before you actually just start jumping on a platform and posting. Then you want to create the content. This is where we're going to spend most of our time because I'm giving you artificial intelligence prompts for every piece of this puzzle, but creating content is where AI really shines. Then schedule your posts. I hear so often business owners say, I don't have time to post 3 times a day. Well, maybe you can sit down for an hour on Monday and create your post for the week, right? So we'll talk about ways to schedule posts too. And then last but not least, the final piece of the puzzle is to analyze and refine. Because as you go through and you create posts and you think you have your audience figured out, you're going to want to look at the data to inform those decisions. That's how you know if it's actually working. All right? So now let's jump in. I'm going to talk about a couple of platforms. I'm not going into detail on any one of them, okay? I just want to point out a couple of things. Number one, I am using the free versions of all platforms that I reference. I actually pay for ChatGPT just because I do, that's my preference. But in these examples, I'm going with the free version, all right? So that you don't feel like you have to pay to get started or to get more involved in this. So one thing to know, this is the free version of ChatGPT. And you can go to chat.openai.com or just Google ChatGPT. And so one thing that I put in there was how up to date is your information? You can just ask prompts. For a while, ChatGPT, the free version, it was over a year behind. But now it's saying my general knowledge is current as of October of 2023. All right, so we're already more than a year behind here. And then for anything that's changed since then, it's searching the web. So what that means is while it can search the web to get any information that's out there that's indexable, it has not been trained by humans, right? To actually understand and know what to do with that information. So just be aware that there are limitations to the free versions. This is Gemini. Again, it's just Google's version, gemini.google.com. Again, I don't have a preference. I go through times where Gemini is great and Gemini is not great, and I just kind of bounce between platforms. One that a lot of people are not familiar with, but it's really helpful, is called Hyperwrite. And so if you're saying, I don't even have a prompt in my head, right? I don't even know where to get started. I have no idea what AI can even do. It's got built-in kind of prompts, and I'm doing air quotes here. So you get 15 free searches a month, unless they've changed that recently. And so I went to tools and marketing because this is a marketing class, but you see you can look at writing, education, business, there are tons of these. So things that you might not even realize that AI can do, like an AI hashtag generator, a slogan generator, an Instagram caption generator. Hyperwrite is really good at kind of having these already pre-made models that get you started a little easier. And to get to this one, it's hyperwriteai.com. Also, Canva. AI is becoming completely interwoven with everything we do now. And sometimes there's not even a clear line. You'll just see the little sparkle symbol and you know that AI is there. But Canva's got something called the Magic Studio. And with that, you can create presentations and remove backgrounds from images and things like that. You do have to pay for this version to get all of the AI functionality, but I know a lot of people use Canva and just know that that's already kind of baked into it. Stock photography. I really love Adobe Stock. And if you notice here, this is something they quietly just started integrating, is that you can even filter for a search like strawberries. You can look for ones only generated by AI and excluding photos or images created by AI. So again, artificial intelligence is everywhere and it's just interwoven into everything. So I'm not going to get platform specific, like I said, but these are just, the tip of the iceberg as far as generative AI for writing, for image generation, anything like that. And I don't have a preference. Like I said, I kind of bounce between all of these, just depending on my needs. So if you've got other AI platforms that you would like to share, feel free to put that in the chat so that we can all learn from everyone. Just make sure that you set the two. I think it defaults to hosts and panelists. Change that to everyone. So if we've got an AI platform that you just really love for a specific purpose, throw that in there. All right, so we used to say a couple of years ago what AI can do. Now it's what can't it do? It's just easier to say what it can't do. So I know we're talking about social media specifically, but just any type of marketing, AI can serve a purpose for you. So if you haven't gotten into it, highly, highly encourage you to do so. And if you haven't gotten into it, I'm going to talk a lot about prompts. And so this is an example of what that looks like. So this is just starting with Gemini. And I would like to increase farm visitors for You Pick Strawberries. You enter the prompt, you type in the prompt, and then you hit enter. And AI is going to generate, and then it's going to give you output. That is how artificial intelligence works. So if you haven't played with it yet, go to Gemini or Copilot or ChatGPT, whatever your preference is, and just start playing around and seeing what kind of output you can get. All right, not seeing any questions so far, so I'm going to plow on here. All right, I keep talking about prompts, and prompts, that's kind of like you're telling the model what to do. When I say the power of the prompt, there is, oh, I don't want to say old because it's still used, but when I was my undergrad's in information technology, and when I was in programming class, we learned about GIGO. I'm not sure if anyone's ever heard of that, GIGO. That is very true when it comes to prompting. Garbage in, garbage out. If you put a garbage prompt in, you're not going to get the results that you want. So that's why it's important you take a step to create those effective prompts. And don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do that. But just as a high level overview, let's say that my goal, because remember, the strategy starts with a goal, is to increase organic reach on Instagram. What do you think about that as a prompt? How do I use Instagram? Do you think that's going to get me the results that I'm looking for? Right? It's kind of high level. You could get how to create an account on Instagram or how to measure engagement. It's just way too broad of a topic. So what about explain how marketing works on Instagram? This is getting better, but it's not specific to my goal. This could be how marketers generate content, how Instagram markets itself. You could still get unexpected output because the prompt is too vague. So what about this one? Acting as a top marketing agency, give me 5 strategies to increase organic reach on Instagram for a veterinarian practice. That's the key with prompting. You want to put all of the information to make sure it be as specific as possible so that you can get the output that you're looking for. And again, we're going to talk all about prompt examples, and you'll leave with prompts you can start working on right away. So if you are a prompt engineer or interested in that field, there are lots of frameworks. So there's the RTF framework, there's RAG. I'm not getting into all of that because what I find with businesses is it's less terminology and more just tell me what to do. All right. So the anatomy of a prompt, we've already seen an example of this, is acting as a, what role should artificial intelligence assume? Give me a, this is what I want the AI to do in this format. All right, we'll see an example of that. So acting as a marketing agency, please give me 10 ideas of content to post on my Strawberry Farms Facebook account in table format. All right, the role AI should assume, the task to perform, and the format of the output. And then you can see this is an example of what Gemini gives back. Again, I'm going to use Gemini just because that's what I created this presentation using. It's not better or worse. So this is an example of getting that content back in table format. You can also check other boxes. So talk about the content, topic or theme, target audience, tone and style, call to action, other relevant information to get the output that you're looking for. And we'll see a very detailed example here. So here we're looking for, thanks, Ben, I appreciate that. All right, so here, the content type, I need a snap. And my topic, it's a fall festival in Gainesville, Georgia. The target audience, mid to older generation Z. So if y'all are saying, I am mystified by what these young kids are saying now, hey, I can help you with that. The tone should use some of their slang. I want to encourage people to send my snap and visit the food truck. That's the call to action. This is what I want people to do. And then just other relevant information. My business is a food truck serving cotton candy and candied apples. Now, in a lot of the paid versions now, you can actually train the machine where it remembers you. This doesn't work so well for me because I am always looking up random prompts for my presentation. And I think the last time I asked ChatGPT, What are your assumptions about me? It said that I'm a farmer in North Carolina and I own 3 businesses, and none of that is true. So I'm confusing to the algorithms, but for most of you, you can actually train that. Gemini, for example, if you go to the free version and say, what do you know about me? It's going to say, I don't know, I don't store that information. So it just depends on the platform. But this is an example of what you get. So the Gainesville Fall Fest is lit this weekend, going to be slinging the sickest cotton candy. Is that what Gen Z says? I don't know. I don't know. You might want to ask one of them, right? And we'll talk about some of the cautionary tales with AI. But this is just an example of what you can get back out of the artificial intelligence, right? Thank you, JB and Amy. Y'all are sweet in the comments. All right. So now remember that puzzle, your marketing strategy. All right. I'm going to go through each piece. I do not like artificial intelligence for the first one. Okay, I'm only showing you this because I said I was going to. I don't like artificial intelligence to set goals because I feel as a business owner, you set your goals, right? That should be something you know about your business. I want to increase revenue, or I want to increase followers. I want to get more people to watch my video or check in my store, right? So you can say, I'm an owner of a business and this is what type, give me some SMART goals, and it will give you some. And you can even see here, it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, just like I said. But don't let the machines think too much about your business, right? This is where I really want you as a business owner to focus. And if you say, I don't even know what my goals should be, I would highly encourage you to reach out to, I was about to say the Kentucky Small Business Development Center, but we have people all over the country. Every state has a small business development center. So reach out to your SBDC and they can help you with this type of strategy. But I said I was going to show you how the machines could help, and I am. Another thing, I don't like artificial intelligence for understanding your audience. Now, the caveat with that is, if you say, I know my target is Generation Z, and I have no idea how they talk or what they're into, by all means, use artificial intelligence to help you understand it. But I need you to know who you want to sell to, right? I want you to know who can benefit from your product or service. But just because I said I would show you an example, this is building off the previous prompt. So I entered the first prompt, this one, into Gemini, and then in the same, I didn't open a new chat. I went right on, yes, I give encouraging talk to the AI and say, please, this is great. I'm trying to reach more women. Can you create a buyer's persona? And so you might have heard about a buyer's persona is that's taking this abstract idea of your customer and putting it into something that you can visualize. So this is where we're seeing some of this, Sarah, in this example, some of their pain points. And again, the point is not for you to have seen everything that's scrolled. You can take this prompt when you get these slides, copy and paste, and drop it into your model and see what you get. But I do encourage you, change this out with your target audience, your business, all right? I love that, Michaela, too. I will have an entire conversation with ChatGPT. And that's a really good point because, you think often about, I'm just going to tell it to do something, but don't be afraid to say, how much do you know? When were you trained? What are you good for? Right? Ask questions. You can have that conversation with it. Now, don't give up family and friends and live in a cave with AI as your only friend, but don't be afraid to just put it in there. I was at a conference and someone from OpenAI, so the company that actually founded ChatGPT, she was there and she gave some interesting behind the scenes of ChatGPT. The most popular prompt that people put into artificial intelligence, into chat, is yo. It's yo, yo. Because if you think about it, you're looking at this blinking cursor and you don't know what to do with it. So it's like, what's up? What can you do? So don't be afraid to just start having that conversation. Yeah, and Amy, that's another one. She said that she asked chat and it was last updated 2021. So it could be to the version that you're using. You might need to update it, but it's just a really good point. If you're not sure, just ask it. How up to date is your information? These are really good comments. All right. And so I own a gym, choosing the right platform. So if you say, I know I'm trying to reach young professionals on social media. I don't know where they are. I don't know what to do. So you're going to get information like Instagram and LinkedIn, which makes sense for younger professionals. But one thing I honestly wouldn't have thought of, if you see number 3, class scheduling fitness apps like ClassPass, what Mind Body, something or another, I wouldn't have thought about an app. And so even if you say, I've been doing marketing for 20 something years now, it can still give you some out of the box thinking that you might not have considered before. So don't be afraid if you say, all right, I'm at step 3 of the puzzle and I don't really know what to do, ask it. And another thing to note here is give your rationale. Don't just tell me. I want to know why you feel that way. And so that I'm looking at the argument it's giving, and I agree. So I think this is a good response. So now this, like I said, is where we're going to spend most of our time, because this is where artificial intelligence really shines. And it's that 4th step of the puzzle, creating the content. So if you say, I don't even know what to post. I have complete writer's block, but I own a pumpkin farm and a corn maze. What's trending today? I don't know what's trending. Now you'll see how this I did in the fall, because obviously the fall is not, it's not pumpkin season or anything like that. But you can see AI and technology. I don't know that I would have made that leap from pumpkin farms and corn mazes. But if you know anything about agricultural production, it is very high tech now. So this, mental health and wellness, sustainability and eco-friendliness, those don't necessarily have a lot to do with farming or a corn maze, but you can get some of that out of the box thinking. All right, not seeing any questions. I'm gonna plow on. All right, so I own an upscale women's clothing boutique in Atlanta. So this is where I'm going to tell it, I want you to act like you're a top social media firm. And I want you to generate 3 captions. Yes, I could say a caption or 20 captions, but I just give me 3 so that I can look at. Here I'm telling it my target audience. I'm telling it what I want, hashtags and emojis. My target audience follows the latest trends and travels the world because I've done my research into my target audience. And then you get some captions. You see it's got the emojis in there. It's got hashtags in there. Now, I'm looking at the first one, hashtag Atlanta fashion. Is that a thing? I don't know. I would still do some research. You never just want to copy and paste from artificial intelligence into whatever you're doing marketing wise, but use it as a start. And if it's giving you hashtags, check and make sure that that's a real thing. If it's not your brand, then don't use it. So you can tell it a lot about your brand. I am a lawyer. The tone should be professional and serious, but approachable, right? You can get really detailed with the type of language you want it to use. But this is just a start for Instagram captions. Another example. So this is a LinkedIn article. We've been looking at really short responses, but now this is my company. I want to create a LinkedIn article. I've got my targets in there. Keep the post to 1,500 words or less. And so here is going to show you an example of how you can use this for longer form content. One thing I will say, artificial intelligence is not always great with word count, which is very funny. Maybe because binary is just ones and zeros. I don't know. But if I really I needed the word count to be exact, I would copy and paste this into something like Microsoft Word and do an actual word count. So just beware, even though you're telling it 1,500 words or less, you still want to verify that. Yeah, Michaela is over here. I'm using it to teach algebra. I love that. I mean, it really can do anything. Oh, Amy put something about, okay, we're not getting into this. I can see teachers out there just, but I mean, if you need help studying, really, what can't it do? All right. It can also read, and I'm doing quotes here, read images. So this was an actual post where I went to a picture of a butterfly and I control C to copy, or what are you Mac users? Command C. So I did Control C to copy, and I put this prompt into Gemini, write the short Facebook post, and then I Control V to paste it. And that's exactly what it looked like. And I've got, please include the species of butterfly. And this, sure enough, is an eastern tiger swallowtail butterfly. I know that because that's what the picture was captioned when I got it from the University of Georgia Botanical Garden. So if you say, like, I've got this picture of this beautiful butterfly and I don't even know what to say about it, it can scan that picture and give you content based on a photo. Sometimes we have really great photos, but the words are harder. You can also use it to create images. Gemini is not the best for images. There are a couple I like better. Firefly's one. DALL-E is good. You have to pay for that though in ChatGPT. If y'all have good video or image generators, throw that in the chat so people can learn. So here I will show you how this took 3 tries, because I've got create a picture that shows it. First of all, I said create a picture of a welder. I got everything from those welders that do those huge cables in the middle of the ocean. I got some sort of random astronaut looking thing. So then I went back and said welding a propeller. Then I got all kind of crazy looking propellers. So then I said include the ship in the picture. So this is an example of how you keep tweaking. You can say, this is good, but put the boat in there. This is good, but make the diver be wearing a black scuba gear, whatever. So again, I just did this in Gemini because this is where I was. There are better platforms. Thank you, Jonathan, for that. Jonathan said Night Cafe Studio is good. I'm gonna make a note of that. I hadn't heard of that one. And then from these, you can download those and save those to your computer. All right, so let's say that you are a professional photographer and you know the difference between these types of cameras, but you say, you know what, just write me a 200-word LinkedIn post. In it, you're saying writing as a 34-year-old professional photographer. So the first thing it says is, as a professional photographer for over 14 years, I've seen the rise of mirrorless cameras, right? Now, a couple of assumptions. I didn't tell it that I had been a photographer for 14 years, right? And I also don't know that this is actual right. And DSLRs with their bulky pentaprisms, I don't even know if that's a real thing. So again, you're not going to copy and paste, but you are definitely going to use it as a start for inspiration. Also, these hashtags at the bottom. Hashtag choose your weapon. I mean, I kind of get where it's going with that for, you know, pick your poison, that kind of thing. But I don't know that that would be relevant to cameras or photography either. So just take it for what it is, use it as inspiration, but always make that content your own. So now we're on the 5th piece of the puzzle, scheduling the prompts. So, or scheduling the content. So if you're out there saying, I'm going to make a marketing calendar, and if you're saying, what is a marketing calendar? I need you to get with your local SBDC office, because I would encourage everyone to plan out their marketing, whether it's email or social or website updates or whatever. Go ahead and try to plan it out as far in advance as you can. Some of my clients use Outlook or an online program. Some use a desk calendar. I don't care. But the point is to go ahead and plan it out. And you can start with things like, let's say you're in risk mitigation. Give me a bulleted list of all holidays and special days. There's always a national something month, right? Maybe it's all holidays and special days related to coffee or related to pets or related to children or whatever, all right? So you can start with this. Again, double check. I don't know that these are real things even, but double check. This is a start for your calendar right there. hey, getting ready. And again, maybe if you're in Georgia, for example, and I think I'll say Kentucky, you don't hear many earthquakes coming out of Kentucky. Maybe that's not appropriate for you, right? If you're in California, that's going to be more appropriate. Tsunamis, we don't get those on the East Coast. So again, all of these might not be relevant depending on your business, but this is just a great way to start. If you're sitting there looking at a blank calendar saying, I don't even know where to get started, right? And again, for these, where it says disaster preparedness, take that out and put whatever subject is relevant to you. And so we have a question from Kendall. Are there any AI outlets where the photos are free? For example, I make a lot of flyers. It would be nice to tell what I'm needing for my event. So feel free, everyone out there, if you've got platforms that you love, throw that out there. So a lot of the AI platforms, you can use X number. You can get X number a day for free. I will tell you, you definitely get what you pay for. You're going to get better quality. But if you just Google or Bing or whatever your platform of choice is, free AI generators, then you'll get a list of those, some better than others. Also, Canva has a lot of stock photographies, even available for their free version of Canva. So if you're using Canva, you can use their stock photos for that. So if anyone else, that's a great question, Kendall. Any others, throw those in the chat. All right, marketing calendar. I just said that. So if you leave here and you say, all right, Robbie said I need a marketing calendar. How am I going to get started? So let's say that you want to gear up to promoting an annual event. Here it's a Farmstead Christmas event. And so here I go into my target. What do I post on Instagram? And remember when I said you can tell it what format you want it? Here I say, give it to me in a table, posting date, content type, and a short caption for the post. And sure enough, this is how it gives it to me. So it's going to tell me maybe on October 1st, post an image of the farmstead decorated for Christmas. And then you've got a short caption. And it's building all the way up to the launch date of that event. So if you say, you know, I know this is coming up and I want to plan my marketing calendar out, ask AI for examples of how to do that and for some ideas. So you can't leave saying, I don't know how to create a marketing calendar. I want that to be on everyone's homework. Marketing calendar and play around with these platforms. I want you to take the slides that you're going to get after this and start playing with these prompts. Also, there are lots of schedulers out there. Remember when I said you might not have time to post 3 times a day, but maybe you can sit down on a Monday morning or a Sunday afternoon and knock out posts for the week. Most schedulers you're going to pay for. So just wanted to put that out there. Most of them will also have demos. So if before you kind of, make a decision on a paid platform, if you want to go that route, do a demo and see, because which one is best? The one you like best, right? They all have their pros and cons. But I do want you to know, if you are creating content in Facebook or Instagram, so on the Meta platform, you can actually create and schedule posts there. So if you see kind of in the middle of the screen where it's got scheduling options, and I've got the post that I used from that butterfly picture that I put into Gemini, so you can actually schedule this out. If you have Facebook and Instagram linked in your Meta Business Suite, then you can schedule on Facebook and Instagram. You're only seeing Facebook here because I only have one fake account for my fake farm to use as an example. But if you use both platforms, then you'll see Facebook and Instagram there. So take advantage of schedulers to make your life easier. Work smarter, not harder. Thank you, Shelby. Yes, and that's the thing. I am a creative person. This is my space, but sometimes I sit here and I just see a blinking cursor and I'm like, I don't even know where to get started. I don't even know what to do. So even if you're a writer, you get writer's block, right? All right. Last but not least, the final piece of the puzzle. I've taken you all the way through. analyze and review the data. So this is just an example. The image on the left is from LinkedIn. The image on the right is from Facebook and Instagram. What you can see in the Meta Business Suite. Meta Business Suite is free, by the way. So if you're not using that already, you can just Google Meta Business Suite. I think it's facebook.com/business, maybe. They keep changing it. But anyway, the point here is to look at what you are doing and then is it getting the results back, right? In this particular example, if their goal was to target more men, they're missing the goal, right? For this particular type of business, I know a woman is their target, and so that makes sense to me. You can also, depending on how you store your data, if you put this in a spreadsheet, however you output that, you can also upload that into ChatGPT or Gemini or one of those and ask it to analyze the spreadsheet for you. All right. So once you get the data, you can, and even if you could say, I have a spreadsheet where I'm tracking, and I'm making up here, engagement, followers, likes over time. What information do you need to help me analyze it? Right. And so let AI tell you this, it needs to be in this format. This is the type of data I can give you back out. Ask it questions. We talked about having a whole conversation with ChatGPT. You can definitely do that. But just know that if you get this data and say, I don't know what it means, AI can help you. If there are other tips and tricks that I haven't covered, would love to see those in the chat. Y'all are already giving such good information, and I really appreciate your feedback and interactiveness. Is that a word? So we've got a question from, how would you pivot from a failed marketing effort? Say you were trying to target men, what would be your next step? So a couple of things here. One thing, just to stay on topic with the class, is you could actually ask artificial intelligence. I did this, right? These were the steps, or this was an example of my content, and it didn't attract the audience I wanted. What recommendations can you give me to pivot from that? You can ask artificial intelligence. Now, what I would do, just because I was doing marketing long before AI, is I would actually sit down and I would say, all right, this was my goal, because remember, strategy starts with a goal. This is what actually happened, and then look at it. There will always be a pattern. There'll always be something that lets you know. And as far as pivoting from it, it could be as easy as creating another campaign where the images are men, or it's focused more on what men are doing or men are interested in. So I think my official answer would be reach out to your local small business development center if you really want to get in the weeds, and they can help you with that. But those are just a couple of ways to address that. Hope that helps, Shelby. Good AI platform for analyzing financial data. I'm going to put a pin in that for just a second while I get to my cautionary tale, and then we can come back to that. If anyone uses AI to analyze financial data, though, by all means, go ahead and put that in the chat. So we've talked a lot about what AI can do. We could be here all day just talking about all of the different things it can do. Really, the moral of the story is the sky's the limit. Right? If you can think it, it can do it. Even if you haven't thought of it yet, AI can give you examples, can help you when it comes to content and just social media strategy in general. But, and this is going back to the chat, as wonderful and amazing as artificial intelligence is, I do have to give you some cautionary information. So one, AI content, it can be wrong and it can be biased. So I always request citations, or I'll say, where did you get this from? Why do you think that? Or give me a citation for your source. Always fact check. And I'll show you an example of one way where AI just went off the rails. Another one, don't use AI to create something that you want to get copywritten, because content, this has been upheld in the courts, content created solely by artificial intelligence cannot be copyrighted. Human involvement is a must, and it should be, right? It's called, another term is human in the loop. You want to be that human in the loop and not just rely on what artificial intelligence is giving you. Artificial intelligence can be detected and penalized. We're still seeing how this is going to affect search engine optimization and other things. I'm more concerned with, or I would be for marketers, humans being able to detect it. So I'll use an example of something I saw in Reddit not too long ago. If you're not familiar with Reddit, it's a social media platform where you really go for the truth. I mean, you go to Reddit to hear it like it is. Somebody put in there, give me a recommendation for whatever. And so you're getting things like, this is a good resource, or I really enjoy this. I've been using this for years. Then you get this content. I have just been overwhelmed and amazed by this platform, blah, blah, blah. It so clearly was not like the others. And the comments in Reddit, you can downvote, people were putting AI generated. So people are getting skeptical of it as well. All right. So never, never, never just copy and paste. You always want to have your human voice in that mix. Okay. Information may become less comprehensive as AI is doing more and more and crawling more websites and getting more information. There are also AI blockers where like Amazon did it. I think the Washington Post did it, where they're actually putting script on their websites that block AI from crawling their websites. So this is just kind of a battle of the robots at a certain degree. So that's why I say using AI is great for a start, but just not to copy and paste blindly. And this, going back to that question about financial data, is the biggest one I want everyone to remember. Your information may not be private. And I don't care if you are paying for something and it says that it's private and it won't be used to train the machine. I would never upload financial data without stripping, identifying information, never upload intellectual property or anything like that. When you put it out there in an AI model, just assume that it's out there. And Kendall had a good point where, yeah, AI is picking up stuff from copywritten, even places where the founder said it couldn't go, it was pulling information from. So that's why, I'm not saying it's Skynet, but I'm saying use cautiously, just like you would any tool. And so this is an example of a cautionary tale. Gemini has gotten better, but in an early iteration of this presentation, I asked it to identify 3 local micro-influencers in the Atlanta area, and it gave me this with confidence. Names, the handles, their followers, what they do, and all of this was a complete fabrication. These people did not exist. I looked for them everywhere on every social media platform. So it can give you information with confidence. It's not going to say, I'm not sure, but maybe. It's just going to give you something and you have to look at it critically. So that is an actual thing. Another thing you can do is just go to a different platform, right? This is Perplexity. Perplexity kind of markets itself as researchy. So this is an example of, I did the exact same prompt and put it into Perplexity for a different point of view, and it's actually giving me citations, and these people are real. Now, their follower count is not accurate because it's relying on other information from the web. It's close, but it's not completely accurate. So you always want to double check the output that you're getting. All right, I know we've covered a lot. Y'all have been great about putting questions so far, but I'm going to look at the chat right quick. And if you have others, go ahead and throw that into the chat. So what we talked about the writer friend, yes, copywritten is a big thing now. So you definitely don't want to be on the wrong side of that. Yes, Amy ran into a rabbit hole researching people. So Vanessa's saying, thoughts on Google forcing its Gemini AI on businesses' Gmail accounts, should we be cautious? So here's the thing. If you, and this is in my humble opinion, if you are using any platform, and I don't care if it's Google, Gmail, if it's Facebook, if it's Microsoft Copilot, if it's YouTube, they're already collecting all the data on you. So I think what we're going to see is AI just getting more and more integrated. Like Microsoft has Copilot. And so when I log into my Microsoft account from work, it's like, hi, it's Copilot's here. but it actually can be helpful. So for instance, the way Google works with Gemini, just as a test one time, I think I said something like, how many promotional emails have I gotten from PetSmart in the past 6 months? And it read my emails, right? Deleted 2 and gave me that output. So really the intention, I think, behind platforms integrating the AI with it is for things like that, to just make it more accessible. But trust and believe, if you're on a technology platform, they are already collecting your information for sure. Those are great questions, though. What else? We have about 5 minutes left. And I think, David, did you want to say final words before we?
Always have to get the last word in.
I love it. But I'm still looking at the chat. And I do want to show you right quick, you don't have to scan that code. I'm going to send the slides out, and Kevin or Janet will get them to you. So I'll be looking for more questions. David?
Yeah. So you get the slides and a recording, so you can go through this a bunch of times, because there was a ton of information, and if you're like me, sometimes it takes a couple of times to kind of really digest everything. So, but Robbie, this was fantastic. I mean, that was a ton of stuff. I mean, it was great. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you for having me. And like I said, you'll get this in a PDF format, and you can just copy and paste, copy and paste the prompts. And so you can play with everything I have given you. And if you have questions, again, reach out to your local SBDC. We'll be happy to help you.
That's right. That's what we're here for. So, well, thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Janet, for driving the ship as always. And if you guys would just hang on when we close here, you'll see a little survey pop up. Please take just a second to kind of give us your feedback on this. We really appreciate that you do that, and it really helps us out a lot. So please do that. So we will see everyone next Tuesday, and thanks for joining us. I hope you stay warm. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.